Hello and welcome to another video. I'm Maz and today I'm in Chippenham. And in today's video, I'll be trying out this Kia EV6 GT. A huge thank you to Chippenham Motor Company for lending me this car. My first time experiencing a Korean car, and if you are a Korean car owner, Hyundai, Kia or Genesis, and you would like a car featured on the channel, feel free to reach out. A quick overview, the Kia EV6 was launched in 2021, which is a first for their new EV lineup, with EV prefix followed by a number, ranging from 1 to 9. So the EV6 is the first car to have that name, then came the EV9 and then an EV3. It is the first underneath the new platform known as eGMP. Interestingly, Kia's sister company Hyundai also have something similar called the Ioniq 5, which also has a high performance variant known as the Ioniq 5N. But in this video we're just going to focus on the EV6, which comes in 3 trims: Standard, GT Line, GT Line S, and of course this is no ordinary Kia EV6, this is the GT version. Interestingly, Kia unveiled the GT in Goodwood Festival of Speed, and the most distinguishing features of the GT include, but not limited to, the light green brake calipers, the distinctive GT wheels, and the performance seats, which are finished in fine Nappa leather, with once again that light green stitching. And this is an earlier car. However, in 2024 they facelifted the car to have a different front end, and due to how new this car is, that's it for the overview. So here is the front of the Kia EV6 GT, and here is the key fob. Very simple design, a bit scratchy if I had to be critical, but I do like the lock button being diagonally there, which is quite satisfying. And with these controls you can actually move the car forwards and back without physically being in the car. But yes, here's what the front end of this Kia EV6 GT looks like. Being a pre-facelift, you do get these larger headlights. The later car had a more triangular outline design. Being a GT, I quite like this distinctive lower splitter, and I do like the newer Kia badge, which kind of looks like a piece of brushed aluminium with these lines on it coming around. These wheels are bespoke to the GT, and I do like the green calipers with that, and the diamond cut does help add some contrast as well. Even though it's an EV crossover, it is very svelte in design, and I do like how the rear slopes a bit, making the car look a little bit more 3-box. And you get a nice little shark fin on the back, as well as a lip spoiler on the end, as well as over there. Coming to the back, the vast majority of the tail light is the light bar on top, and the indicators are housed underneath, like so. And the reverse lights are integrated onto the lower valance. And of course you've got your obligatory GT badge there. The charge port is hidden in here, which I think is a very neat touch. And there we go, the tailgate opens. Here's how much space you get, and luckily instead of having a parcel shelf, it has a load cover, so it neatly tucks away. And if you need more space, that's all you got, unfortunately. And if you want, you can fold the seats back by pulling on these tabs here. And to close the boot, you simply press this button here, and of course, being a Kia, it has a 7-year warranty. Whilst there's some storage area in the back, there is also something up front. That's all the storage you get. Otherwise you just got your fluids and your fuse box, almost like a traditional internal combustion engine car. Coming to the back, that seat is in my driving position and it is very generous here. Because this car is a full EV, there is no transmission tunnel and the seats do look very generous. Here's what the doors look like. Nothing much on the top. You do get some fake suede here. The door handle again integrates into the style. You get Meridian sound system, a neat little storage here for a drink, and maybe here for a key. Even the back seats have heating elements. I'll get back to that lever later on. Sat in the back now, and I've got amples of headroom, and I can really stretch out in the back. I'll admit that seat is a bit upright, but still knee room is very good, leg room is very good, and because the seat is slightly high, foot room is very good. You get 2 USB-Cs here, no air vents here, instead they're over here on the B-pillar, which I actually prefer. You get Isofix here, and if I pull this down, a very nice armrest with 2 cup holders. And you do get grab handles here, as well as a hook for your coat. But this dark headlining does make the interior feel a bit gloomy, considering there's no glass roof in this car. And it's a shame there's no seat back storage here. And remember that lever I pointed at earlier? It's the seat recliner. Similar to what you get in a Maybach, albeit with a manual lever. Now coming inside, the interior is just as interesting as the exterior. And as you can see, the dashboard is quite far away from the driver. So here's my point of view. You get this large twin spoke steering wheel. Being a GT car, you got this GT button here and this light green stitching on the steering wheel. And even though this is a full EV, this car still comes with fine Napa leather, not just on the steering wheel, but also on the seats with some Alcantara or ultra suede inserts. Here's what the seats on this GT car looks like. Once again, you got the light green stitching here, as well as light green piping. You get 2 slots here to put a racing harness, if you so wish to take your EV6 GT on track. You get a GT emblem there. Glove box is very large. Door pockets are very good. This car has a Meridian sound system as well. And I also like how the door releaser integrates with the trim next to it, kind of like a Nike swoosh. The facelift car has 3 prongs as opposed to 2. Here's what the pedals look like. And because this is a full EV, you get this very cavernous storage cubby in between the seats, as a transmission tunnel is not necessary. And the center console is technically a floating one. Strangely, the button for the seat heaters are here, along with the steering wheel. You get a nice spot here for your phone. Nice large center console storage. 2 cup holders, which are always exposed. Large vanity mirrors, as well as a large sun visor. Still got somewhere to store your notes. Strangely, the light is separate, so if you want to open the mirror, you then have to turn on the light switch separately, and there is a likelihood you may forget to turn it off, like so. Though actually it does turn off. Turning on the ignition, this is what your screen looks like, and it's all touch screen. So let's put on driver 1 for now. This is your home screen. These are your applications or your icons. You do get a good intuitive infotainment system showing your range. Quick shortcut button here, your sat nav, nice digital clock on the center. And overall it's very intuitive to use, and your home screen even tells you where you are. This section here can be changed. So right now it's in climate mode. So these 2 dials are your temperatures, and you got your general HVAC system here. Press this button here, or this icon, It's now your sat nav and your media. And now the left dial is your volume, and your right dial is your radio search. Just like a Jaguar, you get a dial to put it into gear, though it does not rotate, and it is a little flimsy, but I'm really being pedantic. You get a separate button here for hill hold, and the camera system here is very generous. What looks like a secondary storage cubby is just your fuse box, unfortunately. Turning on the car, and here's what your dials look like. Indicate to the right, it shows you your blind spot on the right. Indicate to the left, it shows your blind spot on the left. And all your basic information are all down here. These paddles here are not to change gears, but instead how fierce you want your regenerative braking. So you got level 0, level 1, level 2, level 3, max. So that's the exterior and interior done now, so let's see what this car is like to drive. So seatbelt on, foot on the brake, start the car. Reverse a bit. Into drive, and off we go. So from first impressions, the car drives very smoothly, and the accelerator feels perfectly linear. And even though I'm driving a full EV, the car does make a burbly sound, like an 8-cylinder. And that pad there for your phone can also wirelessly charge. And I do like the armrests ever so slightly overhanging, so it holds the phone in place. Steering wheel is very thin rimmed, but 10 and 2 do feel perfectly bolstered, and 9 and 3 does feel a bit thicker. And of course it's got a flat bottom steering wheel to help with clearance. Okay, going over a speed bump now. Barely felt it, considering this is the sportier GT model. There goes another one. Just went over a few undulations. They do come in through the cabin ever so slightly, but not by much. That was me going over one halfway. And I can also go at a certain amount of speed due to the fact that there is some ground clearance with this car. Here comes another one. Yep, that felt good. And I've got to remind myself I'm in the high performance EV6 GT. So in terms of ride comfort, this is actually very good. And the chassis does not feel it's being compromised at all. Unlike the Polestar that I reviewed, which had a very firm ride, but it wasn't the performance variant. And you can watch my review on the Polestar by clicking on the top right hand corner of the screen, or in the link in the description down below. One last thing to check. One more. Yep, that was at moderate speed and it still went very well. This is the upside of it having ground clearance. I'm sure that... okay, that was a bit of a heavy one. But I'm sure this added height may compromise the center of gravity, which we're going to find out later on. Just turn on lane keeping assist, and one thing I like is every time not going to do it right now. Not going to do it right now. Now, every time I get close to the center reservation, the car turns for me. Whilst this is not unique to this car, however, it does it very gently. It's not very aggressive like in a BMW. And it can be so severe that even the passenger can feel it. But here it's nice and gentle. There we go, lane keeping assist. And if I want, I can just turn it off by pressing this button here on the steering wheel. In the town centre now, so let's see what it's like manoeuvring about. So Chippenham is full of one-way streets. And I'm currently stuck behind a learner driver. This could also double as stop-start. Here comes a red light. And even though I'm not in one pedal mode, the brakes feel very smooth. That was an Aston Martin. Even though this is an EV, this car still has paddles behind the steering wheel. This is for how strong you want regenerative braking. There are 4 different modes. So you got You got it fully off, level 1, level 2, level 3 and max. 5 modes if you count off, and you can turn on hold assist manually if you want. Personally, I'll keep this on. And you can also turn on and off the parking sensors manually. So driving with one pedal and let go. Yeah, that's very strong. I think that's mainly good for city driving. Even though we're in the center of town, it's not that busy. So let's put it into level 1 for now. Yep, that feels a lot more natural. And here comes a sharp right-hander. Yep, goes in very well. Turning circle is very small. And I didn't feel like I was losing grip. Though this is because this car has the massive GT wheels. And one thing I really like about Hyundais and Kias is if you indicate left, the corresponding mirror camera turns on, so it helps you look beyond the blind spot and vice versa. So I've got my left indicator on, it's showing the left side of the digital reader, the camera from the left mirror, and it's basically there so I can see beyond the mirror. It's not useful right now, but I can see this being useful on a very busy motorway. And of course, cancel the indicator, you go back into normal screen mode. Putting my foot down, I do like that little bit of sound coming through the speakers, just to reassure myself that I'm operating the car. And if I go into sport mode, it's a lot louder. And I've seen someone look back at me, so I'm guessing it does make a sound from the outside as well. There's another Kia EV6. And in eco mode, the sound is the same as normal. And yeah, that's pretty much it with Chippenham Town Centre. How good is it at a U-turn? So here I am at a mini roundabout. Yep, very good. I didn't have to slow down. And it pretty much controlled with me just holding the steering wheel where it was. So yeah, that's the town centre done now. In a supermarket car park now. Let me find that sharp turn. Yep, so turning right onto this one. Full lock. Any body roll? No body roll whatsoever. And visibility, front is absolutely brilliant, side's very good, back window is very good, despite having the rear window mounted quite high up. The only downside is probably that 3/4, where that quarter window is a bit too small, but I'm being really critical. Okay, one last thing to check, see what it's like in the open road. Put it into sport mode, and into the national speed limit, and floor it. Yeah, that was very fast, and I can easily see why it only takes a few seconds to get to 60, or in this case to 70. And I'm very thankful for these cameras that operate when the indicator turns on. Brakes are still very good, and steering I think complements very well. Even though I mentioned the ride height is fairly high, I don't think it's compromising the maneuverability of this car at all. And it's definitely very fun to drive, even on the corners. And I think the engineers at Kia have done a very good job with the way this car performs. Lane's about to merge, can I make it? Yes, I can. So from a dynamics perspective, this car is absolutely amazing. I've driven another electric car, the I-Pace, which felt very fast and very fun to drive, but only having 400 horsepower, it wasn't within the performance level of this one here. This one takes it to a whole new level, and I can see this being very useful when making a quick overtake. And I've mentioned this is the sister car to the Ioniq 5, so if you are a Hyundai Ioniq 5 owner and you would like a car featured on the channel, feel free to reach out. Really, it puts a huge smile on my face. Yeah, this car is an absolute hoot to drive. Here we are at a U-turn. At a roundabout doing a U-turn, I should say. Barely any body roll. Grip is very good. Steering doesn't feel very numb. And into traffic we come. So let's head back to the car park and finalize this video. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed watching me try out this Kia EV6 GT. Like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you are new, ring the bell to stay up to speed, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers!